There is a weight you are carrying. It's invisible, but you feel its drag on your soul every single day. It's the weight of other people's opinions, the criticism that echoes in your mind long after the words were spoken. It's the weight of past mistakes, the ghost of a failure that haunts your present decisions. It's the weight of future anxieties, the what-ifs that build castles of worry in the empty air of tomorrow. And perhaps heaviest of all, it's the weight of your own expectations, the relentless pressure to be more, have more, and control more. We have been sold a lie that to care is to be responsible, that to hold on is to be strong. But what if the ultimate strength, the highest form of intelligence, is found not in carrying more, but in knowing what to set down? The ancient Stoics discovered a radical art, the art of strategic indifference. Not the apathy of the defeated, but the profound, liberated calm of one who has learned to distinguish between what is worth their soul's investment and what is merely noise. This is not about becoming cold or uncaring. It is about caring deeply, but only about the right things. Tonight we explore 7 Stoic principles that teach the masterful, liberating art of not caring about what doesn't matter and letting go of what you cannot change. Let's diagnose the modern disease of overcare. Your mental and emotional energy is your most precious capital, yet you are likely bankrupting yourself by making bad investments. You invest in the stock market of other people's moods and crash when they're sour. You invest in the real estate of future outcomes and live in constant fear of a market correction. You invest in the currency of past regrets, which has zero present value. We are emotional spendthrifts, wasting our inner wealth on externals that offer no return on investment except anxiety, resentment, and exhaustion. The core problem Stoicism identifies is this: we have misplaced our care. We care intensely about things outside our control, what others think, whether we succeed, how we are perceived, and we care too little about the one thing we can control, our own character, our judgments, our actions in this very moment. This misplacement is the source of all our suffering. Epictetus framed it perfectly. We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. We are disturbed because we care about the wrong interpretation. We suffer not from the event, but from the story we tell ourselves about it, a story we cling to with a death grip. The art of not caring, then, is the art of withdrawing your care from the destructive story and reinvesting it in the neutral, manageable reality. This art was refined in the crucibles of lives where caring too much about the wrong things could literally mean death or destitution. Consider the teacher Seneca, who was forced to care about the whims of the Emperor Nero, a volatile tyrant. He had to master the art of caring for his principles, while not caring, in the debilitating, anxious sense, for Nero's approval or disfavor. He wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Our excessive care is a product of that imagination." Marcus Aurelius, who had the cares of the world on his shoulders, constantly reminded himself in his private journal to care only for his duty and his virtue, not for the applause or the ingratitude of the masses. Epictetus, a former slave, embodied the ultimate release. He had nothing external to care for, no property, no status, no political power. From that position of radical external indifference, he built a philosophy of unshakable internal commitment. The entire system rests on the dichotomy of control, which is the first and greatest principle of letting go. As Epictetus began his Enchiridion, some things are within our power, while others are not. The art of not caring is the practical application of this dichotomy. It is the conscious daily decision to withdraw your emotional investment from the second column, the not within our power column, and to place it entirely in the first. This isn't nihilism, it's the most precise form of spiritual economics. Here is the first counterintuitive hook, the pattern interrupt that redefines strength. We believe that not caring is a sign of weakness, laziness, or irresponsibility, that to let go is to give up. The Stoic position is the exact opposite. The ability to not care about the uncontrollable is the hallmark of supreme strength and focused responsibility. Think of your mind as a sovereign kingdom with a finite army. Every time you care about a rude comment, you are sending troops to guard a meaningless rock on your border. Every time you care about a future worry, you are deploying your navy to patrol a phantom fleet. You are leaving your capital, your peace, your purpose, your present moment undefended. The art of not caring is the art of being a brilliant strategic general. It is recalling all those misplaced troops from futile outposts and bringing them home to fortify the citadel of your character. The person who doesn't care about insults isn't weak. They have an army so powerful garrisoned within that a few shouted words from beyond the walls are beneath their notice. Letting go isn't losing your grip, it's realizing you were clinging to a ghost that had no substance to begin with. These first three principles are about retraining your perception, how you see and interpret the world. This is where the art begins. Principle 1. The Dichotomy of Control, the Great Divider. This is the master principle. Your first move in mastering the art of not caring is to become a ruthless categorizer. With every stimulus, every worry, every desire, you must ask, is this up to me? Your own opinions, your efforts, your desires, your aversions, these are up to you. Everything else, your body's health, your reputation, your wealth, your past, the actions of others, is not. The art lies in this: you grant yourself full permission to stop caring, emotionally, about everything in the second category. You handle them practically if needed, but you do not let them dictate your inner weather. As Epictetus said, if you confuse what is not your own for your own, you will be hindered, you will lament, you will be disturbed. This principle is the scalpel that cuts the cord of unhealthy attachment. Principle 2. Objective judgment. Hypolepsis, seeing the thing in itself. We don't suffer from events, we suffer from the labels we slap on them. Someone cuts you off in traffic. The event: a car moved lanes. Your judgment: that reckless idiot disrespected me. The judgment creates the rage. The Stoic art is to strip the judgment away and see the bare fact. Marcus Aurelius practiced this constantly. Don't let the force of the impression carry you away. Just say to it, hold on a moment, let me see who you are and what you represent. See the critical email as text on a screen, not as an indictment of your worth. See a failure as a result, not as an identity. When you see things objectively, as a doctor observes symptoms without immediate panic, you remove the fuel of drama. There is nothing to care about in a bare fact, only something to respond to, or not. Principle 3. The view from above. Premeditatio, the cosmic perspective. When you are drowning in the drama of a personal slight or a professional setback, your caring is out of all proportion. This principle is your mental escape pod. Zoom out. Imagine yourself rising above your street, your city, the planet. See the vast sweep of history, empires rising and falling, billions of lives lived. See your current crisis as a tiny, fleeting speck in this immense canvas. Marcus Aurelius asked himself, think of the universal substance, of which you have a very small portion, and of universal time, of which a short and indivisible interval has been assigned to you. From this vantage point, the need to care so deeply about that one comment, that one rejection, that one bad day, evaporates. It is not that it doesn't matter at all, but that it matters in proportion. This perspective is the ultimate antidote to self-importance and the anxiety it breeds. Now the uncomfortable wake-up moment, the necessary truth. You must confront this: your inability to let go. Your compulsive caring about the uncontrollable is often a disguised form of ego and arrogance. It is the ego's belief that the universe should conform to your preferences, that people should behave as you wish, that your plan should unfold without obstruction. When they don't, you care intensely because your ego is bruised. You are, in a subtle way, playing God. Seneca called this out: we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Your intense care about potential outcomes is your imagination throwing a tantrum because reality dares to be uncertain. The art of not caring is therefore an act of profound humility. It is the acceptance that you are not the center of the universe, that you are a small part of a vast, indifferent and beautiful whole, and that most things simply are not about you. Letting go is the humility to acknowledge that you are not in control, and in that acknowledgement lies a tremendous, weightless freedom. With perception cleared, these principles guide your action and your release. Principle 4. Amor Fati, the love of fate. This is the principle that transforms letting go from resignation into active embrace. It means to not only accept but to love everything that happens, including the setbacks and the losses. Why? Because it is your fate. It is the raw material of your life. Nietzsche, who was deeply influenced by Stoicism, coined the phrase, Amor Fati, let that be my love henceforth ere. The Stoic version is to see every obstacle as fuel for the fire of your character. Got sick? This is your material for practicing patience. Were you betrayed? This is your curriculum in forgiveness and discernment. Failed? This is your training in resilience. When you love your fate, There is nothing to not care about in a negative sense. You care differently. You care about how you use the event, not about wishing the event itself were different. You let go of resistance and embrace application. Principle 5. The reserve clause. Exceptio. Acting with detached engagement. This is the master principle for engaging with the world without being captured by it. You act, you strive, you plan, but you do so with an inner caveat, fate permitting, or God's willing. You write the book, but your primary care is about writing with integrity, up to you, not about it becoming a bestseller, not up to you. You add the silent clause, except, nothing prevents me. This clause is your psychological emancipation proclamation. It means you can care deeply about your effort while being completely indifferent to the outcome. Success is a pleasant gift. Failure is irrelevant to your worth. You are free to play the game fully because you have already accepted any result. This is the essence of non-attachment. Principle 6. Sympathia and the lesson of others. We care too much about what others think of us. The Stoic reframe is twofold. First, sympathia, the understanding that we are all connected, part of a shared whole. The person who insults you is acting from ignorance, a flawed understanding of what is good. Seeing them this way inspires pity or a desire to teach, not rage. Second, remember that their opinion is their property, their impression, their problem. It resides in their mind, which you do not control. Epictetus was brutal on this. If someone tried to take control of your body and make you a slave, you would fight for freedom. Yet how easily you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you. The art is to stop handing over your mind. Let them have their opinion. It is theirs. It has nothing to do with the truth of who you are, unless you care enough to adopt it as your own. Principle 7. Memento Mori, the ultimate letting go. This is the principle that makes all others urgent and poignant. Remember that you will die. Remember that everyone you know will die. Remember that all your possessions, your status, your grudges, and your accolades will turn to dust. This is not morbid, it is liberating. When you remember your mortality, the petty things you care about, the social slights, the minor failures, the longing for approval, are revealed in their true, trivial light. As Seneca wrote, you act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. Memento Mori corrects this. It tells you have limited time. Stop spending it caring about what doesn't matter. Let go of everything that isn't love, isn't virtue, isn't truth, isn't a meaningful contribution. This principle is the great clarifier. It forces you to ask, is this thing I'm so worried about worth a single minute of my finite, precious life? If the answer is no, you have just mastered the art of not caring. These 7 principles provide the philosophical blueprint for the art. But an art must be practiced. Knowing you should not care about an insult is not the same as feeling unmoved when it comes. The following practices are the drills, the daily exercises that rewire your neural pathways from reactive caring to chosen indifference. This is the studio where you practice the art until it becomes your nature. Practice 1. The daily Dichotomy Audit. Each evening, take your journal. Write down the top 3 things that triggered you, worried you, or consumed your mental energy that day. Next to each, draw 2 columns, up to me and not up to me. Categorize each element of the trigger. For example, my boss seemed dismissive. Up to me, my work quality, my communication. Not up to me, his mood, his personal biases, his management style. Then, physically draw a line through the not up to me column. Mentally say, these are not my property, I return them. This daily audit trains your brain to automatically categorize and release. Practice 2. The bare fact reframe. When you feel a surge of negative emotion, pause. Ask, what is the bare fact, stripped of my story? Write it down in the plainest language possible. He said, your report was late. That's the fact. Then, write down your story. He thinks I'm unreliable and my career is doomed. See the vast anxiety-creating gap between the two. Consciously choose to dwell on the fact, not the story. The story is where you care destructively. The fact is where you can act, if needed, or let go. Practice 3. The Premeditatio of Indifference. Each morning, during your meditation or planning, don't just visualize obstacles. Visualize yourself facing them with indifference. See the critical comment appear, and see yourself observing it like a scientist observing data, with curiosity, not hurt. See the plan fall apart, and see yourself calmly pivoting, as if changing a route on a map, with no emotional catastrophe. This neural rehearsal builds the mental muscle of equanimity. You are practicing not caring in advance. Practice 4. The as-if ritual for Amor Fati. For 1 week, Choose a minor annoyance. Rain on a day you plan to be outside, a cancelled plan, a small inconvenience. Each time it happens, say aloud or in your mind, "This is exactly what I needed today." Then, find one reason why it might be true. The rain forced you to rest. The cancellation gave you time to read. This practice installs the Amor Fati reflex. You train yourself to meet fate not with resistance, but with a welcoming embrace. Practice 5. The opinion containment exercise. When you receive praise or criticism, practice this containment ritual. Imagine the words are physical objects, a beautifully wrapped gift, or a piece of rotten fruit. See yourself accepting the object, examining it, and then placing it on a shelf labeled external impressions. You acknowledge its existence, but you do not ingest it. You do not let the praise inflate you or the criticism poison you. It sits on the shelf, separate from you. This visual practice reinforces the boundary between you and the opinions of others. Practice 6. The Memento Mori Meditation. Once a day, for 2 minutes, sit in silence and contemplate your death. Not with fear, but with clarity. Imagine the world continuing seamlessly without you. See your current worries from that perspective. Ask, if I had only 1 month to live, would this thing I'm caring about even make the list? This is the ultimate prioritization filter. It burns away the trivial with the fierce light of what is truly important. Practice 7. The Voluntary Release. Once a week, practice letting go of something tangible and small. Delete an old grudge-filled text thread. Give away a possession you're sentimentally attached to but don't use. Refrain from stating your opinion in a conversation where it's not needed. These small concrete acts of release strengthen the letting go muscle. They prove to your subconscious that you can survive, even thrive, after releasing something you once clung to. Modern scenario. The social media spiral. Maya would post a photo and then spend hours anxiously checking for likes and comments. A critical comment would ruin her day. She was a slave to external validation. She applied the principles. She used the Dichotomy Audit. I control posting what I find beautiful. I do not control others' reactions. She practiced objective judgment. The comment is text from a stranger. That is all. She employed sympathia. This person is likely projecting their own insecurity. She embraced Memento Mori. Is this comment worth 1 second of my one wild and precious life? Within weeks, she found she could post and literally forget about it. Her care had been redirected from seeking approval to expressing herself authentically. The freedom was exhilarating. Historical example: Seneca on exile. When Seneca was exiled to Corsica by Emperor Claudius, he lost everything: his position, his wealth, his proximity to power, his home. It was the ultimate test of caring about externals. In his exile, he wrote consolation to Helvia, to his mother. He applied Amor Fati. A change of place does not damage a wise man's peace of mind. He used the view from above, observing the island's nature and seeing himself as part of the cosmos, not a ruined politician. He practiced the reserve clause. He had done his duty in Rome. Fate had not permitted him to stay. In exile, he produced some of his greatest philosophical works. He let go of Rome, and in doing so found a deeper, more resilient version of himself. The exile didn't break him. It proved the art of not caring about what you cannot control was the ultimate source of strength. Here is the final resonant truth. The art of not caring and letting go is not about constructing a wall of indifference between you and life. It is about removing the false walls of attachment that already stand between you and a direct, peaceful experience of life. You are not shutting down your heart. You are clearing the clutter that blocks it. When you stop caring about the uncontrollable noise, you create a silent space. And in that silence, you can finally hear what you truly do care about: your integrity, your growth, your connection to others, your contribution. You care more deeply, but more cleanly. You let go of the leaves, the twigs, the broken branches, so you can hold firmly to the roots. The Stoic art is the art of discernment, knowing with crystal clarity what is root and what is debris, and having the courage to let the debris float away on the river of fate without a second glance. So begin the practice of this profound art today. Start with the dichotomy. When you feel the familiar grip of worry or hurt, ask the question, is this up to me? If it is not, practice the sacred, strong act of letting it fall from your hands. See things as they are, not as your fears paint them. Rise above the daily drama and see the cosmic stage. Love your fate, especially the hard parts. Engage with effort, but hold all outcomes lightly. See others' opinions as their property, not yours. And let the awareness of your death be the gentle, persistent wind that blows away the chaff of trivial concerns. You are not learning not to care. You are learning to care fiercely about the only things that can ever truly belong to you, your character and your actions in this present moment. Everything else is just weather. You are not the storm. You are the sky, vast and undisturbed, watching it all pass through. The art is yours to master. The freedom is yours to claim.